My name is Suresh Babu, Senior Research Fellow and Head of Capacity Strengthening at IFPRI here. And today we will have the policy seminar on what drives policy change, insights from the Kaleidoscope model of food security policy. This question of what drives policy change is particularly important when we are seeking to make impact on the ground. Impact in terms of providing evidence. That's what we do as researchers, most of us here, but also connecting the research to action through the policy system. And when we talk about policy system, there are actors and players in the policy system, and what they do, why they do what they do, and how they can influence policy becomes very important. As researchers 25 years ago when I joined IFPRI, we used to say we do research and let somebody use it. That was the attitude of us as researchers. And we have changed. We have changed for good. We increasingly understand now it is not enough to write our research papers and publish in journal papers, whatever impact factor that is. It's not going to change policies on the ground. To change policies, we cannot give birth to a baby and say, we want the baby, but let somebody else nurture it and bring it up to an adult and make impact on the ground. It's like leaving the baby in somebody's doorstep and say, you grow it, but it's still my baby because it's already published. That doesn't work anymore. And that is why the program that we are part of now, we have been meeting for the 2.5 days here as part of USAID funded Food Security Policy Innovation Lab. The partners are Michigan State University, which is taking the lead, IFPRI and University of Pretoria, coming together to find ways and means of how we can take research to policy action, working with the policy system, strengthening the policy systems, finding the gaps that impedes policy transformation from research and evidence. That's what we are trying to do. And as part of that, we are happy to have you here at IFPRI. Welcome to IFPRI and welcome to this policy seminar. And we will have a set of presentations that brings together one of the components of FSP, which is policy systems and capacity component, to give you an idea of how we go about understanding the policy system, what we have found out from the case studies that we have done, and how we are disseminating it in terms of practical tools that we can use for guiding the policy process, not only at the policy makers level, but also the researchers at the developing countries. They can take up these tools and use it for understanding the policy process so they can make change on the ground. With that brief introduction, let me introduce the speakers today. We have three sets of speakers and 2 discussants. Let me introduce them one by one. Daniel Resnick will present the overview of the approach, the Kaleidoscope model, and she will also talk about some of the case studies. She is a senior research fellow at IFPRI and also governance team leader. She has been leading work at IFPRI related to governance and policy process, and she will come and talk about the Kaleidoscope model and introduce that, and then I'll introduce as we go along, because it's very important that each one of the participants and the speakers are introduced one by one. Daniel.